Okay, y'all, it's been a while since I posted last, but I'm going to give you a quick overview, and then after that, I'll come back and do a little bit of explaining about what's going on. Because basically, from this, you can pretty much see some of the changes I made and some that I haven't. And one of the biggest changes is going to be right here. But we'll go into that a little bit later. Give you a quick overview. And the other room, you're going to have to wait for that one. As you sit here, you notice that I put down some more trees. And aside from that, not too much from Uncle James' place has changed. My wife had bought me these back at Christmas time, and I got tired of them just sitting in a box. But what you can see is I've done a little bit more work here. And in the backfield where I was going to put another little strip mall, I decided to go with a little water tower and farmhouse. Then as you come around, I added a little pond just for the fun of it. Threw a deer there next to the tree. For my retaining wall, I just took 1/4 inch plywood, cut it, painted it, and made it much easier to work with. For this area, I decided to go with a moss to cover the side, and I got it from the dollar store. Some great stuff. The only downside to it is they ran out, and I had to take and place an order because they don't have it in the store. But as you come around, like, still not too much has changed here. Still experimenting with the engine yard. That building will not be there in the back. It's just set there temporarily. And then this is pretty much going to be my setup here. This building is probably going to wind up getting scrapped. I just don't like it, don't need it. And here we're going to put a little garage here with a little maintenance thing. Little fence. I still got some work done. But if you sit back here and look in the oil facility, I've added certain things. The two blue ones, that's just PVC pipe. The other ones, the other pipes you see in fittings, that came from my 3D printer. I found something and I decided to go with it. These are little pipes that glued them together, give them a little bit of paint, and it looked great. These two right here, the big containers you see, that's actually from a games workshop. Like I said, I found on Thingiverse, printed it, painted up, it looks nice there. Nothing too much has changed back in the back with Carlita Spur, but I did find a Gundam, a miniature Gundam, and I took and put it together and set it on top of Wesley's Gundam Emporium. I have taken and done more work here, more landscaping, done a little bit more on the retaining wall. I finished off another switcher that I had sitting in a box and painted it for the Underground Railroad paint scheme. And then as you come around, you can see where I've done more trees. And for Norfolk State Sand and Gravel, I've actually landscaped it. Figured I'm going to add a little bit more to it. Then for the Tugman yard, you can see more trees, more landscaping. These little red sticks that you see, that lets me know where to uncouple the train. That's going to be replaced with actual lights a little bit later on. So as you come around, you can see where I just made little things, little improvements. And then there's Wakwana Technologies. Actually done a little bit on the roads here. You're going to get to see the front of this building in a second. So let's slide around to the other side so you can see it. So like I said before, this control panel was extensive. This is the worst thing I ever had to wire. But because of the control panel is how I got Nathan nearest green. Over here at the farmhouse, what you notice, that nice little cobblestone road around the back. I love my 3D printer and Thingiverse, because what I done was I found a little road that somebody had done, printed off about 4 or 5 of them, glued them together on top of a piece of paper, painted them, and done a little bit of dry brushing. And then when you take and add the tree aspect to it, it gives it a nice little look. In a few minutes, I'm going to take and add me a little picnic table with some people and a little grill. Starting out here on the back side of the maintenance facility, not too much has changed. I'm slowly working on this. This is going to buy off and run into the other areas. You see this grain elevator? In all honesty, it's not going to be there. It's just set there temporarily. But you can actually see I put the name on the building for Wakanda Technologies. Those tanks you see out in front, they're just set there. There was some I was going to use for a World War II scene, but I decided to scrap it. And the largest warehouse that's on the facility, can't you see, is Nathan Nearest Green Distillery, the man behind Jack Daniel's whiskey. Here you can see Norfolk State Sand and Gravel and the cat yard. I've actually started to paint it. Basically what all this is just mapping so I can get an idea of how I'm going to run from here around into the other room. Now, for the other room, I told you I was going to do a cat container yard in the military. This right here is the beginnings of the Inamoto yard. It's right now on hold because I'm working on the military maintenance facility, and I need to finish that before I can get started on this. Over here, it's the military rail yard. Most of the stuff that you see, the vehicles and all, are printed on my 3D printer. And that little sound you hear in the background is actually part of another engine house being printed. So from what you can see, there's going to be plenty of lighting. There's going to be an engine house sitting here. And once this is done, I can literally just pick it up and drop it right there. And from that, I can start working on the inner model.